All right, as usual, man, bring you another Major Koolaid Report, where we're going to be talking about some observations that I had at the training camp. I'm pretty sure this is something y'all should be interested in, but this going to be also a little bit different because today I'm highlighting some coaches and just what I observed. Now, first of all, I've already talked about how I was wrong on my initial judgment of Skip Pete. Skip Pete, I always say this and I always will say this. When you trying to figure out who to blame between players and coaches, this is how I've always worked it out, and this logic has held true with me for a long time. I'm gonna repeat it. Whenever you're trying to figure out if it's the coach or the players, this is how you judge it. You judge a coach by the group. You judge a player by their individual performance. So when we first got a hold of Coach Pete, that was when Zeke and Pollard had some fumble issues. So the group made me have a problem with him. But as time went on, you could see that actually Coach is an asset and a major asset, because not only did you see the fumbles correct, which means that he likely tightened them up and coached them up better going into the following year, you also saw Pollard running better, more physical, stronger, actually was a better blocker. And you can see them going through some of those drills here with Coach Pete as I'm sitting here with training camp. So I want to see it close up. So I'm giving you a close hand view of him preparing Zeke, him preparing Pollard for the other side of running back that nobody talks about, and the fundamentals and the lack of sexiness in blocking it. Having those guys keep their hands inside, simulating somebody trying to beat their hands down and keeping their hands inside, just working on the fundamentals. And you can see Coach Pete doing that. And you can see it always in the drills, you know, working on the balance, the coordination, keeping your head up as you go over the bags. And that's Coach Pete, man, doing a lot of good work. And this is how you really know Coach Pete is a monster. And when I say that in a good way. They even demonstrate. You got guys out there demonstrating before Zeke and them go. But dapping them up, you know, they dapping up the coach. But you can see that Coach P get them balls ready. So when you see and hear people want to carry up to 4, and when you see people want to carry up to 4 running backs, that's a low key, just keeping it real, compliment to Coach Pete. So me going down and actually being able to observe at the training camp him up close gave me even more confidence in the running back room. And one of the guys, shout out to Quincy, who I was talking to, he's from my neighborhood. I went to high school with him. He went to my rival high school. He had an interesting comment on why you should carry 4. He gave me the best logic. He was like, you want to carry 4 running backs, even though we usually don't. He said, you want to carry 4 running backs because what is going to happen next year? We know Zeke and Pollard are the backs this year, but what is the plan for next year? How you gonna have guys that already know your system, ready to go, know your coaching, know your standards? So I was like, Quincy, excellent point. Like, yeah, that is a reason to potentially keep 4. If it was about this year, I would say keep 3. But if you think in short term and long term, Quincy Wright, think 4. Shout out to Oak Cliff. The next person that I finally got to see up close, that I was very impressed, and I also see why, just keeping it real, the defensive line room has risen and is much better. And I saw Aiden Dirty coach up close, and I see why his guys buy into him. And he's somebody else I was wrong about. I was very concerned about him being a coach because he never coached a defensive line before when Coach Quinn hired him. It had the appearance of me, I'm being honest, it had the appearance of It also had the appearance of
Bruh.
and it had the appearance of, but all of that was wrong. He ended up being way better than I anticipated. Now, some people say, but boss, the defensive line wasn't that great. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at it from without the tragedies that we went through, like the fact that we had Neville Gallimore gone for most of the year last year, the fact that Tristan Hill didn't come back till late, the fact that you had to go work with Hamilton and Watkins, and you still had a pretty decent, run stop crew. To me, somebody that got the most out of what he had was Aiden. Just keeping it real. And then when you look at the uptick of Quentin Bohanna and how he's looking like he's ready to go, and then you looking at the uptick of Gallimore, and where is it coming from? Well, it's one thing that I observed watching them at practice. It's a little bit grainy, but just, hey man, I did my best. My phone kind of trash. Hey man, just life. Life ain't fair. But see, what I like about is Aiden, you could see that he was working out with those guys after practice. I tell you what, I had one coach do this, and he used to motivate the hell out of me. Like, it's one thing for a coach to say, hey man, we need to get, because this is the thing that some people might not know. Sometimes when you're dealing with those interior guys, they be having weight goals and they can be behind on their weight goals. Like, they got to play at a certain weight and conditioning. So some coaches would be like, I need you to go out there and give me some extra Gastons. I need you to go give me some extra reps after practice because you need to lose some weight. See, it's one thing for you to tell me. It's another thing for you to go out there and do it with me. And to see Aiden out there running with his guys. Not saying y'all need to go out there and get that work in. You guys need to see him and Dan Quinn just being so hands-on all the time, bruh. It's so obvious why now Dan Quinn is so coveted to potentially be even our next head coach. Because another thing that Quincy observed as we were just sitting there watching the practice, like I already showed y'all before, that obviously sometimes, that's Big, that's Scott, that's Law. We watching the practice, but we also keeping up with the content. We keeping up with sharing to our groups, our channels, and every now and then networking, getting to know people, getting to know players. We got a lot going on. We always seeing a lot going on. And sometimes you miss us. My boy Quincy was able to observe with pure eyes, and he said, boss, you noticed something? And it was right after practice. I said, nah. He said, look, who working out right now? And the only people that was working out was the defense. The defense was the whole defense. It wasn't just some of the guys. You could tell it was a top-down standard giving to the whole defense to put in some extra work. And everybody did it. Everybody. So I just wanted to kind of give y'all what I was seeing with these guys, because Aiden Dirty, man, he I'm telling y'all, he having them balls looking good. This is Sam Williams destroying ball, and listen, I was seeing destruction all day. I'm talking about from no name guys allegedly. Yeah, I'm talking about from allegedly no names. So these guys really are ready, and it's because of Aiden. Aiden have those guys playing at another level. And one of the main guys that stood out was Ghostin. I'm telling you, Ghostin is giving me some real David Irvin vibes. Cause see, David Irvin was one of them players you could put him anywhere. You could put him anywhere. You could put him at the 1 when he was at his best. You could put him at the 3. You could put him at the 5. You could put him at the 9. Man, you can do what you want with David Irvin. And David was impactful everywhere. I'm seeing that with Ghost. I'm seeing it. I hopefully see him as David Irvin at his best this year. But I almost guarantee you by year 3, he gonna be David Irvin part 2. So anyway, man, y'all stay up, man. This is Boss Cowboy Sports. I'm gonna continue y'all to give y'all this type of content. Y'all make sure y'all continue to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Always support too with the cash. We appreciate that always. That helps get the channel going, keep the channel going. But more importantly than the cash, because obviously we appreciate the cash, we also appreciate the likes and the shares, because we are growing very fast. We likely go hit 5,000 subs, maybe even before the season start. And y'all know we just hit 4,000. So y'all stay up. It's Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matter. Peace.